It's the Extremist movie debate, and tonight we're talking 1954's White Christmas.
I'm Joe.
I'm Ethan, and one of us is going to love it, one of us is going to hate it.
Let the coin decide their fate.
I love it.
I hate it. Hey guys, don't have a not a snowy Christmas. Hey, maybe snow. There's spoilers ahead.
And the sip is
Maybe Joe didn't watch this movie.
All right, and this movie currently holds a 77% on Rotten Tomatoes.
How much?
77%.
Know it.
Joe, since you hate this, how did you know that?
I do.
Since you hate this movie, this first question comes to you.
Okay.
This comes from Martin Chilton of Daily Telegraph UK. Okay. I don't know when this review is written, but it's a good musical with a lot of star power. 4 out of 5 stars.
Yep.
So, when you have these kinds of musicals, it always helps to have like a big name like Bill Crosby. So, how do you feel as a giant star he did in this movie? Let me go to my clock, and you'll have time. And go.
Well, how did he do specifically?
Yeah, as like
terribly.
As like one of the biggest names in the movie.
Terribly. And do you know why?
Why?
Because in real life, people don't just break into song and sing to each other. I mean, weirdos do, like stage people do.
Or that guy we saw walking to the car.
Yeah, but he is supposed to be
like the movie's about stage people.
He's supposed to be cool in this movie, and cool people don't do that. Just weirdos do that. But on a larger scale, this movie doesn't make any sense. So these guys are coming back from the war, and then they get their dicks hard, and they follow these 2 girls out to this weird hotel where they just happen to coincidentally run into their general, and the general's like, I don't got no business because it hasn't snowed, and they're like, oh, well, let us help. We'll just bring up all of our people, and we'll just rehearse our play, and that'll bring people in? Like the motivations, like nothing lines up, nothing makes sense in this movie, and it's annoying.
Okay, Ethan, you have 30 seconds to respond.
All right, as far as when breaking into song, they're all stage people, so it actually makes sense why they're breaking into song. They're rehearsing their goddamn act. And then as far as them going up to Vermont out of coincidence, yeah, they're following these girls who are also in a stage act, and they're following them up to this place where they're going to go perform in Vermont. And surprise, it's not snowing because of global warming, and that's cool. So they go to Vermont, this communist place, it's not snowing, and all of a sudden they say, hey, you know what, we can solve global warming by supporting our troops. So what do? They support their troops, and that's how this movie ends, and thank God, you know what, it fucking snows.
Thank you. Joe, you have 15 seconds to respond.
Everybody knows that global warming wasn't a thing back in 1954. That's fine. We all know that Vietnam and Richard Nixon was the real reason global warming even started, because all that hot air he was spewing out of his mouth hole.
Ethan, you have a final 15 to respond.
Well, then thank God for the proud Americans, Bing Crosby and Danny Kaye, who can go ahead and rally all the troops into Vermont, smash all of your communist agenda, and make it snow.
Vietnam.
Make a small business thrive again by loving the troops.
Small business?
Yeah, he's owning a hotel.
That's a giant hotel.
He has a ski lodge.
Hey, I will turn this webcast around if you guys don't stop. Ethan, this next question comes to you.
Got to hear Nixon now. Hot air.
This question comes to you. This comes from Dave Kerr of the Chicago Reader. Dave says, the whole thing is rather forced and antiseptically cheerful. A, this is a Christmas movie.
Yeah.
B, this is a musical, both of which are normally cheerful and
forced
fun
and antiseptically cheerful.
So what about this could possibly to you, feel overly forced to the point where Dave Kerr of the Chicago Reader is against it? Like, did he not know this was a musical or what Christmas is? You have 1 minute.
Yeah, it sounds a lot like he did not know what the title of this was and did not understand what he was watching. I believe that this movie is absolutely on point. I think that it definitely supports the Christmas spirit. It definitely supports family and friendship, and above all else, it supports troops, which also helps stop global warming, which also helps smash the communist agenda, which was relevant at the time. So I think that it's an important movie in the American cinematic family, and I think that it's an important movie to watch every Christmas with your family to understand that patriotism trumps the weather.
Pun intended. Joe, you have 30 seconds to respond.
this movie certainly supports a lot of things. It supports brotherhood. It supports whiteness. I mean, look at the title. Like Ethan said, look at the title, White Christmas. I watched this movie.
It's not Snow's fault. Man.
I was watching this movie. Guess what? There's not a single one of a person of color.
Joe
There's no
thinks
minorities
Snow is
in this
racist.
movie. There's no minorities in this movie.
Well, where does it take place?
Vermont in America.
Yeah,
we're supposed to be a melting pot, right?
Not in Vermont. Ethan, you have a 15 seconds response.
And I think this movie does a stellar job of painting Vermont as this communist wasteland where nothing is snowing, no business is thriving, and sure enough, all of the military comes and they bring in this booming economy. I think that this movie's point is very clear, and I think that it does a very admirable
Thanks,
job.
Ethan. Joe, you have a final 15 to respond?
Do I? No, Ethan's wrong about all of that. Because it snows at the end, and the only reason that people show up, and it's not even the soldiers, the only reason people show up is because he's on the Ed Sullivan Show, and he says, hey, my sorry such piece of shit
Thanks, Joe.
general.
Sorry, you just stammered over your words too much. You guys have 4 minutes to discuss and go.
And isn't it adorable? He's doing it just to support the ski lodge. Like, he doesn't even want any money from
the
it.
ski lodge.
Like, it comes to a point.
Grumpy old general
It comes
who
to a
let them
point
off.
where he's like, I'm not into these girls anymore. This is not my main
Hold on,
motivation. Now, this is Bing Crosby. He's
That
like,
was
I am
the
doing
whole
it. I know
motivation
Danny Kaye
anyway.
wants Bing Crosby to get laid. I get it. But I think it's important to understand that Bing Crosby comes to a point where he's like, I see this general, and you know,
Well, I have a question. I have a question real fast.
We
I have
made
a
sure that we
question
ate
real
first. He made sure that we were warm first.
No,
and they want to
none of
take
that's
care of him. They
true.
want to help him out in his time of need. And so they do help him out in his time of need. And
I have
they
a
go on
question.
the Ed Sullivan Show
I have a
and
real
say,
question.
hey guys,
Ethan, I have a
everybody
real
from this
question.
division, come on down.
I have a real question. What did the general's wife overhear on the phone that made what's her face so mad at Bing?
I don't remember.
See,
Because I was too overwhelmed with the
because this
Christmas
movie doesn't make
spirit.
any sense.
No, it's because I understood that the movie has
is a
genuine
vehicle.
heart.
Hold on. The movie is a vehicle for Bing Crosby to sing, which is fine. But
Well,
at least
and
they could
also
be
for
upfront
Danny
about-
Kaye to
they
dance,
could be
and for
upfront about
Rosemary
that.
Clooney
They
to
could be
sing,
upfront about
and
that.
for the other girl to
Opposed to
dance,
that,
whose name I don't remember.
you have these hodgepodge of different songs that they want sung, and then they try to string them together with like
it's so
a
good.
bullshitty plot.
There's
that
so
even
much
Ethan,
good-
the guy who loves it, doesn't even remember what the plot is.
As far
and that was
as
a
the
huge
singing
plot
and
point,
dancing is
because she
concerned,
left for
there
New
is
York.
literally-
he did something so bad that she left to New York, and he had to go get her to bring her back. And Ethan does not remember, which speaks pretty poorly of this movie that's supposed to be building
I mean, it
upon
was
this like greater Christmas spirit
It was
movie.
just some
And this
plot
guy
point
doesn't
at the
even
end of
know.
the second
All
act.
he cares
But
about
I think that it's
is the
important to
singing
talk
and the
about
dancing. I don't
that
like
the singing and the
musicals.
dancing.
So
That's
who
not
gives
all
a
that I care
shit
about,
the
but I do
singing
think
and the
the singing and the dancing are commendable in this movie because you clearly you have Bing Crosby and Rosemary Clooney who cannot dance.
If that's
who
not
are
what
very
you,
good at
hold on,
crooning,
if
and the
that
other
wasn't
people
all
cannot
you
croon.
cared about, you would remember one of the major plot points, which you do not. You just said, I do not remember what that was about, and that was a huge plot
Oh,
point.
it was probably something about how like the Vermont person didn't want anybody, or the general didn't want anybody to market or whatever, and the guy was going to go market. And he thinks probably they're going to try to make money off of it.
Oh, so she was mad at
Something
Bing
like that.
Crosby instead of calling him out. She was just mad at Bing Crosby. See, you don't know, and that's the thing.
If you hear it from the mouth of Bing Crosby,
and like
yeah.
that, on top of that, like human beings are a selfish creature. So like this whole movie is about people being selfless, and that just sure that's the Christmas spirit, but that's not human spirit. The human spirit is like me, 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 and you got like what, two characters who just want to bang each other, but then they actually fall in love. Like none of this movie makes sense. It's trying to like paint this like
That's why
ideal
the
picture
military
of
needs your support.
this.
Folks.
It's showing this idea. Showing this ideal version of it, and it's bullshit.
Okay. How do you? I'll stop you there. How do you guys really feel? Before I do that, I'm gonna give Ethan some cred here because I just looked up like the census for Vermont.
Don't give him credit, just take mine away.
Vermont is 95%
boy.
white. So this movie, I'll give it a free pass to not
To be
have
fair, you're the one that brought race into this.
That's what I'm saying. Like, take my credit away. Don't give Ethan.
No, and then
any.
after I said, you know, there's
Give yourself more credit.
when I off screen nodded yes to no people of color being in Vermont, I feel vindicated. So, how do we really feel?
I don't think Ethan actually even responded to that. You responded to it.
Stop looking at me.
I think this movie is okay. I don't like Bing Crosby as a person. I think it's really clear that you have two people that can sing and two people that can dance. There's literally one scene where Danny Kaye is actually very literally dancing circles around Bing Crosby that makes me laugh when I watch it. It's kind of a shitty, like, I mean, here's the problem is this musical is set up to be like, look, it's a stage performance. Look at all these dumb fucking songs we're going to sing. And I am bored by it but I also really like Once, which does the exact same thing. You know, every song in that movie can just be, I'm sad, and it's just an hour and a half of that. So I can't complain that much. People love this movie. Great. I'm glad you love it. It's cool.
My problem is when I listen to music, I don't listen to lyrics. So when I watch a musical...
You didn't miss anything.
I know, but when I watch a musical, like, you can make the assumption that, like, the words in the songs are progressing the story forward. So it's like the whole thing with, like, the Grindhouse movies with Rodriguez and Tarantino, how they would just take a reel out and just be like, let's see if the audience can catch up. Like, whenever there's a musical performance, I just spend the next 5 minutes trying to catch up because I don't know what happened.
Well, then this movie should be awesome for you then, because like the songs don't really have anything to do with the story.
Musicals.
Like, there's one song where it's just, "Hey guys, we're sisters."
I
That
watched
goes on
this.
for like 5
I watched
minutes.
this in like sittings. I watched this in four
Or
sittings.
settings. I like to
I get
imagine you
it.
like watch it in your bedroom, at a hotel, at your parents' house, and then you came over to my apartment and watched it.
It's fine.
Accurate.
Okay, well, what would you guys rate the movie?
I give it a 5. No thunder.
Give it a 6. No thunder.
I
didn't watch it.
I just don't care.
People
I just-
absolutely adore this movie, and that's great.
It's fine. I just don't care about. I'm a curmudgeon. I don't care about the Christmas spirit, and I don't like musicals all that much, except for Chicago.
And La La Land.
I never saw La La Land.
And Singing in the Rain.
Oh,
I
that's
never
not a
saw
musical.
And Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory.
That's not really a musical.
You sure?
Yes.
Okay.
It's more of a musical than
Well-
La La Land.
Yeah. Where can we find us?
Oh, you go ahead and take it.
Instagram,
Facebook,
Twitter,
Instagram, Twitter,
YouTube, subscribe,
Gmail.
emd.pantspending.com,
Almost Patreon.
artificialwood.pantspending.com. Is it almost Patreon? I forgot.
Almost
working
Patreon,
towards
yeah.
it. I got it.
We've
going.
discussed it. Thanks to Justin Hines, Summer in Siberia. You can find him summerinsiberia.bandcamp.com. Intro, outro music. Mitch Davis for the cool intro graphic. He's got a cool site where he sells movie posters that are butts.
Ooh, Butt Booth. Yeah, check it. Buttbooth.com. Check that out.
Greg from the Smokers.
I talked to Pants Bending the other day, and we might be doing podcasts sooner than later, so that's cool.
Wait, we're doing podcasts?
Well, just the audio feed of the show as podcast.
All right, guys, we're doing 2-hour episodes.
No,
coming
not
up.
again.
2-hour podcast.